What's something you can't tell your parents? That I have major financial issues and am worried about the next month's rent. I used to nick mom's pot when I was in high school. I'm sure if I told her she'd laugh. But my stepfather got the blame at the time. Are you smoking before work? The stash is getting kind of light. And that man has a long memory. Of course he has a long memory. My girlfriend and I won't be having a wedding. Sure. We'll be going to the Justice of the Peace and having a small reception. But my mom doesn't understand the concept of not having a wedding. I absolutely cannot tell her flat out no. You're not going to be getting a wedding out of your only child. I can't tell my parents how difficult they have made my life by neglecting me emotionally as a child. It used to be a bit of a meme that daddy never hugged me. Well, like that. But to such an extreme degree that it actually qualifies as damaging. My unstable mental health. I know that she's $500,000 in debt and does meth. That my brother sorely abused me and I remember all of it. How scared I am to have brain surgery in a few months and how angry I am this has happened to me. I know how stressed and worried they are already and I don't want to add to it. I'm not happy with my body. Everything as they are both dead. Mind you, I am 65. That I'm not mad at them and I love them despite not talking to them for 10 years. Send them a Christmas card. With exactly that statement. Back in high school I wasn't as good as they thought I was. I just never got caught doing the bad that I did. That I don't see a future for myself. They deserve better than to think they failed me. I felt similar in my mid-20s. Working dead-end jobs to make ends meet and figured my parents would feel like it was somehow their fault that I wasted the opportunities they gave me. Things can turn around in the blink of an eye. 10 years on and I never thought I would be where I am. Financially or otherwise. Things may not look bright now but you never know what the future holds and I'm sure your parents are proud regardless. They are a pretty example of how you should live your life as an adult. They haven't done anything particularly bad. But just how they deal with finances and emotions and everything. It's unhealthy and not planned ahead the slightest and they suffer a lot because of it. That internet strangers have been nicer to me in a year than my parents in my entire lifetime. My father is ignorant and my mother always negatively misinterprets me. Edit. That I've been struggling with my mental health for a long time now. Somehow made it through this year. Don't know if I'll make it through the next. My boyfriend. My parents are very old-fashioned and having a boyfriend at 20 is seen as a crime. They'll force us to break up after they scold and or beat me. My boyfriend's been the best thing to happen to me and I'm not ready to give him up. Ever since I could remember I've been extremely depressed. When I was younger I made a promise to myself if my life didn't get better by the time I'm 23 I would end it. Right now minus the COVID life pretty alright and since I didn't plan to make it this far. I'm not sure where I want to end up. But it's okay. I'm going the right way. Edit. Thanks for the concern from y'all but things have been a lot better since I made that promise to myself. I ain't gonna go into detail. I'm not as busted physically as I was then and the mental has got better. For those who are struggling. I don't know why you made your promise but don't follow through. I can understand why it seems like the best choice. But it ain't. It can be hard but ask for help. No one is Superman and you don't have to struggle alone. I'm considering moving away without telling anyone. Them included. I've been having difficulties improving my life. And it eats at me. I know they don't think poorly of me. But when I'm around them I feel inadequate. Even though I do enjoy their company. I think I need to go someplace where no one who knows me is nearby to get into a good state of mind to make the changes I need to make. But there's always the fear of being wrong. So I don't know if I'll do it. Edit. I was going to respond personally. But seeing as there are many of you, it's not really possible for me to do. So please allow me to say in this edit that I thank everyone for their comments and insights. I've been given a lot to consider. Thank you. They are type parents that should never married, let alone have children. That I was molested as a child by a stranger in kindergarten. I always feel like I don't want my parents to think they failed me cause they did a great job parenting. I've never told anyone and this is the first time writing it into words. Edit. Thank you to everyone who shared their stories and left kind words. It truly means a lot and is beautiful to see. I kick the fallen ice under the fridge. Edit. Thanks for the metal. That most of the time when I'm joking about something I was serious, but when I saw how you reacted I took it back and said just kidding. Yes, I really want to raise livestock. Yes, I said llama and alpacas. Also I was serious about the yarn thing too. Edit. I just want you guys to know that this actually motivated me to ask my parents why it was so crazy for me to have this dream. Also kinda ashamed I had to google what cottagecore was. I really am a 60-year-old in a 20-something body. You call it cottagecore, I call it summer at grandma's. No really though, I was dressed more like Huckleberry Finn and less Laura Ingalls, but same thing. That I have online friends. I know they just care about my safety. But it's the only way that I can talk to people that understand me. I'm old enough that it shouldn't matter either. Where I hid the money. I got a BJ in their bed at a party I threw in high school. I'm pretty sure my brother and I have intimacy issues because of them. I hate pointing fingers because it solves nothing. But ugh, there's a reason your sons are in our 30s and only now getting to know women. Edit. Holy, this blew up. AWW, you guys are great. What's gold wholesome rocket silver hug? Beamer. Wait, really? What's hugs lol? Edit 2. I wanted to add that this was just a one-off. I was thinking about my current situation, getting demoted at work. All that time I had sex when they didn't want me to, etc. My parents are great people and did the best they could. I know I have rejection issues and my brother finally got a girlfriend. I want them to marry, but it's one of these lead a horse to water situations. The two are living together though, so fingers crossed. That my success wasn't because of your great parenting methods. It was in spite of you. Edit. I didn't have a headache that night. That I'm adopted. It would break their hearts. That the guy they tried and failed to get away from me in a party sexually assaulted me while I was blackout drunk. I tried suicide. Sorry dad. He knew something was wrong. But I never told him what was happening. I was scared of my mum. She often shares my private problems with her friends, other family members. I just can't talk if I have any problem without being scared of it being shared. That my mom is responsible for most of the issues I have been medicated and in therapy for the last 2 decades for. It took me a long time to admit it to myself and it would destroy the relationship we do still have. Edit. Because this blew up a little whilst I wasn't looking. Definitely sucks that so many people are responding that this situation feels so close to their own. But it also helps me to know that so many people have been through the same stuff and are out there coping and living life. My most recent therapist spotted this stuff early on and could tell I was shielding the memory of my childhood from some of the things that happened. It was her pushing me to dig into all this that is helping me to work through it. If you are lucky enough to have access to therapy, I would always recommend it even if you are skeptical. Good luck to everyone. Hey mom and dad. Remember that freelance graphic design job I started 4 years ago? The one I was making more money than my old job at? I'm actually drawing furry and pony PRN. Loads of it. Even worse than that. Some might not even be legal in the US. I'm not really sure. Technically they are animals. But I can't turn down half my monthly mortgage for 4 hours of work if someone wants some falcon or cub art. They pay a premium for extreme stuff like that and I can't resist the money. So yeah. Sorry about that. I definitely am not designing people logos. I'm not even sure if there is money in that anymore. I know for a fact my artist friends that don't do PRN aren't making nearly as much as me despite some being vastly superior artists. Hopefully you are at least proud of me for being self-sufficient. I am incredibly depressed and have been diagnosed as an adult as having autism. It explained so much about my life, including my conflict with my parents. But I have gotten so good at pretending to be a functioning person. I can't reopen any wounds with them. It would destroy them. Whoa. The response to this has been incredible. I can't respond to every comment just yet, but I am definitely keen to take up some of the offers of advice resources. For those wondering, I was diagnosed as an adult woman in my mid-30s by a fantastic psychologist. The diagnosis took me by surprise but simultaneously made my whole life make sense. I got a vasectomy. My mum really wants grandchildren, but it's never going to be from me. I've been very open about not wanting children, but she thinks it's just a phase. The main reason that I can't tell them is that my sister has been trying and unfortunately failing for years. The pressure has slowly shifted towards me being the one to carry on the name and so on. I think it would break her heart. Nice try, Mom. I was a cam girl for a year while I was living in their basement. That I miss my dad. He's been gone 45 years and knew me only a short time. That they sucked at being parents. That I just don't want to exist anymore. Don't get me wrong. I have a good life. I just feel tired and everything I do seems so pointless. I thought about suicide, but I'm too much of a coward. I just want to turn to dust while listening to my favorite song. I'd never tell my parents that they were parents. I wasn't the easiest kid to raise, but that doesn't excuse how I was treated. That I don't really believe in God. My parents are heavily Christian and they believe that I am a devout follower of the church since I had been chosen multiple times to pray or read the Bible in front of the mass. In reality, I just move with the flow since I don't want to disappoint them, and I had made very close friends with some of the people I have met in the church. This will likely break my father's heart since he is a pastor and has raised me to become a Christian his whole life. That I don't believe in God Jesus. My parents aren't very religious, but they are wholeheartedly Catholic. They are the direct cause of my depression and anxiety. I love you. My medical condition will most likely never improve, and despite my degree it means I will likely never be able to hold a job. I don't think I'll be going to law school. That I'm the odd one in the family, and that's purely because I seeked out higher education and learned to think critically and not accept what I hear unless I do a bit of research on it. I've had so many arguments because they think I'm invalidating their opinion and being a smartass, when the reality is that they're ignorant and too lazy to learn. I'm angry that they never allowed me to pick up a trade, instead forced me to go to uni. I absolutely need to tell them. But the fact that I completely flunked first semester and it had no reason beyond complete lack of motivation to do anything productive. I don't know how to tell them though. That I have suicidal thoughts like urges to order pizza, but I try to ignore them by drawing, watching animation movies and playing video games. I've been professionally editing pornography for a few months now. They just thinking I spend a lot of time on my computer and somehow money appears in my bank account. That I love my dad and I'm proud of him. He died when I was 11. Trying to save a colleague. They both died. But since then, most of the health and safety in the workplace, particularly regarding PPE, changes are as a direct result of his death. And I sometimes wonder how many lives he saved as a result. I'd like him to know that. They make me sick. I am embarrassed and make every excuse to avoid them now that I'm older. Every time they would see anything negative about Western culture, I had to listen to the "This is why Islam will conquer the world sooner" and their favorite Barack Obama is Muslim. A black person can't be intelligent enough to become president unless they are Muslim. Other ed up. If my white friends from school used to come around, My parents would be the nicest people imaginable, but the moment they left they would make me wash the dishes properly if my friends touched them because a non-Muslim has made the dishes impure. Edit. Thank you for your kind words and the opportunity to discuss some of the hidden parts we shamefully hide. I'm going to switch my inbox off as I can't keep up with the replies, questions and surprisingly, the accusations. Most of what I wanted to say or have responded should answer any further question. That I did not cut myself when making a sandwich. Edit. Why does this have so many upvotes? Also, thanks for your concern. I will probably try and get a bit of help. I love my mom so much, but she's the most toxic person in my life. I don't feel like I can talk about how physically hard this pregnancy is for me. My first. My mom had 4 super easy healthy pregnancies for her 5 kids, twins. COVID makes it that much harder because I can't even go to any of my groups for support. I lost my virginity in their brand new Jeep Grand Cherokee. Twice. Once with a chick. And once with a guy. You lost your virginity twice? I have a problem with losing it once. All the drugs and heavy drinking. That I have attempted suicide and was a drug addict 8 years ago. In that time I also used to sleep with prostitutes. Basically I was on a massive downward spiral. Don't ask me how I stopped or what made me stop. I just did. That I had a drug addiction when I moved out from home. Spend all my money on that. As a waiter at the time and even at work I was on drugs. Nobody noticed and I never told anybody about it. Now I have no money and my family put so much pressure on me to do certain thing. Driver's license etc. Because even your little cousin has it. What's wrong with you? Full stop. Can't find a job right now because of COVID and looks like I'm about to lose my apartment. I'm the black sheep of my family and when I tell somebody about my mental health they just laugh at me and tell me to shrug it off or just get a job. Where I buried grandma. I feel like more is needed here. How to pronounce Worcester. That the psychiatrist we saw, at 22 and living alone since 4 years now, said that mother is definitely responsible of everything we've been diagnosed with. Did social anxiety, acute stress reactions, panic trouble, and that we probably would have noticed a lot of other conditions, intersex, hormonal failures. If she listened. I'm not a virgin and have sold PRN before. They're extremely religious so it wouldn't go down well. Neither me or one of my other sisters are going to talk to them once they leave. We're tired of the harsh punishments. The insanity. Everything that comes along with our dad. My stepmom is fine except one thing. Everything in our house is a competition and we are all given harsh punishments simply for acting our ages. I don't hate them for being Trump supporters. I'm not one. And I don't. But I do hate them for their racism. Conspiracy theories. Antisemitism. Ableism. Homophobia. Me and my sister are both LGBTQ+. And everything else that they have done to us personally. I'm done with being ignored for everything I like to do. I've been in band, musicals, FFA, etc. and they have never come to one. And my other sister is tired of constantly being called the arsler by them because she has brain farts once in a while. I'm gay. That's it, that's the comment. That I'm suicidal. I committed suicide before. Same. I will never do it again. I almost died. A while back I decided to abandon the Christian faith. I've had conflicting experiences and feelings about it. But once I realized I was a flaming bizarre mess I decided to hop on over to atheism. My breaking point was when I heard a prominent pastor condemning homosexuality even though it's not a choice or at all wrong whatsoever. And he began comparing it to the likes of murder and bestiality. It hurt to hear him talk about other human beings that way and it's what set my choice in stone. I don't think my parents' beliefs are that bat insane but I'm not gonna risk telling them anytime soon. Ha. Nice try mom. That I more than likely won't have any kids nor get married. That they were right. That I'd rather be a fighter than a doctor. I can already see what they'd do. I can already see what they'd do. That I don't believe in their religion. Literally all my beliefs and a good portion of what constitutes who I am. That I am disillusioned about our society and that I do not understand the point of most social rituals, customs that they feel are naturally ingrained in the human experience. What they think brings meaning to life is foreign to me. Their ideals are entirely different than mine. I have no drive to get married. I have no sense or belief in the supernatural. I don't see a requirement to have children or have descendants. I am sad and depressed that I can't seem to be able to talk to them about my mostly secular interests. That I know my dad isn't my biological father. But I'm not sure either of my parents knows. I found out a long time ago after the first time I donated blood. The clinic sent me a pamphlet with information about my blood type, which happens to be pretty rare, and I did some more research and found that it requires one of my parents to have given it to me. Neither my mom or dad has that blood type. Unfortunately, my parents divorced a long time ago after both had affairs, and my mom has battled mental health issues for a long time due to terrible things that happened to her as a child, which makes me hesitant to ask if she knows who my biological father is for fear of causing her to spiral. Problem is, I just got engaged. And we're talking about kids, and I want to know about any potentially problematic health issues I could pass on. It's a bit of a doozy for me. Everything. They're both dead. And since I didn't like them much anyway, I sure as hell am not going to talk to them now. The fact their viewpoint on life is dumb. They're Muslims and very religious. And they force me to be as well. They think that there is one religion, Islam, and the others are lies. I am 15 and I am an atheist. I am an introvert and don't like socializing. But they don't understand that. They force me into social situations that make me feel uncomfortable. They always shout at me for staying in my room all day and not talking with them. I am also bisexual. Them being Muslim. They think that's wrong. That alone makes me depressed. That's one of the 6 reasons I have depression. Everything. They're both deceased. Like many of y'all. I had issues with my parents as well. The difference is you still have the option to talk with them. Make amends. Tell them how you feel. And have the potential to repair or have a relationship with them. That option goes away when they are no longer around. Hindsight is 20/20. If I had everything to do over again, I would have talked with them more and been more open about my feelings and listened to theirs. I know your side of the story feels accurate and representative of the truth. But remember, there are always 2 sides of the story. Maybe reach out. Tell them how you feel. And listen to theirs before that option is taken from you. That I've killed and replaced their real son with me at the age of 4. I smoke weed. Every day. It maintains my sanity. That I am stir but twice daily they will think it is inappropriate. Thanks for all the updates, it made my day. I can never tell my mum that I found out that her dad, who died when she was just 2 and she believes that he died from a tragic motorbike accident, that he in fact took his own life. I was arped. That I'm bisexual. Edit. $6 and % you grave 89KZXBXVX. I'd have absolutely no idea how to tell them that. OMG. Where do I start? I am bisexual. I am Wiccan. I hate being a stay-at-home mom. I hate not being able to be a financial contributor to my household. I have a good relationship with my in-laws because they actually know me and they don't judge me. I hate how big my wedding was and I very badly want a do-over without my mother involved. The only thing that helps me with my migraines is marijuana. And the only way I can live my life openly and honestly is when my mother dies. For context, my dad passed away a few years ago. My mom is in her 70s and she is all I have left of my family, especially since my brothers literally took off after my dad died and told me that meme is my responsibility. They took off because they couldn't handle her anymore. I'm also going to mention that I am the youngest by more than 20 years and I just turned 30.